just heard the last movement of Mozart's Grande Sesto Concertata for violin, viola and string quartet. In fact, it was originally written as a work for violin and viola and orchestra, and this is an arrangement from the early 1800s, about 1807. I don't think anyone knows exactly who did arrange it, but it was arranged for string sextet, so they sort of passed the solo part around. It's a fantastic work. It's late Mozart. We played the first movement the other day, and this music resonates. I went to a concert last Wednesday, and heard it played in this format, and it struck a chord. So we, had to play that. Well, we are getting organised here, slowly but surely. Been always a busy day at the coalface. People are sick of hearing me say that. It's life. Life goes on. We're all busy. Everyone's busy. And why define things by busy? I should say I've had a really lazy day at the coalface. That's what it's been. Hello there.
Yep, one thing a day is enough for me.
One thing a day sounds like a very good idea.
I think people run around doing 10 things and don't get the value out of them.
That's a good point. I think we need to be focused, singularly focused. And speaking of such, how's the singular cattle station going?
Well, it's all go ahead. All the finalities have been finalised. So
very good.
It's certainly definitely going ahead.
Okay, so have you negotiated you're able to move in a bit earlier, or was it?
Look, that could happen.
Yes.
But it'll certainly happen by the official date.
Yes.
So it's been testing a few things.
Mm-hmm.
Look, the phones are a bit dodgy there.
Yeah.
So I've organised a link back here.
Sure.
I've got all my codans out.
Mm-hmm.
If you just shove 2020 into a 160 metre antenna, night time, not a problem.
Yep.
Around the SDRs, perfect.
Yes.
No one else is on the channel. And daytime, 5.3 megs.
Okay.
Get to Queensland just today, midday.
How about that?
Full strength.
Incredible.
South Australia, full strength.
Yes, well, 5 megs is...
It's an amazing band.
It is an amazing band, and it's all sort of depends on the bigger propagation picture, I suppose, as well, as does 7 megs. But
look, 7 megs is crap. 5 megs always works. 7 megs, you know what it does. It doesn't work sometimes.
There must be a line in the sand there, Dave.
Yep, that's why why there's no ham band there. All the commercial and government people use 5 megs.
Yes, indeed.
Because it's reliable.
Indeed.
So you've got a few codans in the basement.
Yes, you can have a codan or two if you want.
They've probably all got 2 and 5 megs on them.
Yes, I think they all do.
They're amazing bands. You don't need a license. Well, you can buy a license for $25 a year if you want to be official. But you just use 9DI.
Yes.
And as long as you don't carry on too much. Look, I've never heard anyone on there for years.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing resource.
That's the 4-wheel drive network, of course, isn't it?
No, that's the RFDS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
that they guard the 4-wheel drive network, or they're all very, very official there.
Okay.
You can't do anything untoward there.
Okay.
But the outpost service, you can do what you like.
Outpost service,
I mean,
right.
It was just people talking about dead cows and fixing the windmill and stuff.
Yeah.
And now, of course, I don't think certainly in this part of the world, it doesn't get used.
Yes.
You can listen to hours.
Well, I think most codans do have those frequencies native to the set. The older codans do at least. So that's good information. Good to have get it from an authority such as you, Dave. That's excellent.
Look, you don't need selective calling because no one else is on there, and the voice squelch from the codans is good enough.
Yes.
And
get back on that.
5 and nighttime 1.2020.
Yes.
Which would probably work around 100 k in the day anyhow.
Yeah. Well, I'll set up a receiving setting here, and it could be a good input frequency, maybe.
Well, it could be, yes.
Yes, for missions, perhaps.
Well, it's just like 160, 2020, of course. But,
sure.
5 is special, and it could be all to the Phil Good.
Excellent. No, it's good to know.
And I'm building a 2-metre repeater, because that'd be good to have around there.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully, if we get back to Bendigo, it'd be good, so I could have car coverage.
Yeah, I've got the cavity filter here, which I'm not presently using.
Yeah, look, I've got quite a few.
You've got enough? Okay.
I've got enough.
Sure.
And I just worked out my relay logic, which I did years ago, to
Yes.
run things like that.
That's right. I remember you had at Millgrove, you had a comprehensive setup.
That's right. And I've lost. I had to nut it out again with relays.
Yes.
Because you wouldn't want to break down the whipstick forest and get stuck. So
No, gosh,
you
no.
need comms.
You certainly do. Absolutely. Whipstick forest, you could fall down a mine shaft.
Well, you could. You'd need to call out from underneath the ground.
Yes, you'd have to call out. Yes, the Kodak wouldn't be much use down there. But, it's a nice setting there. It'd be quite warm out there today, I imagine.
I think it would be, yes. It should be, another, I don't want to go through another cold winter.
You'll have the advantage of being out there. And
that's right. And, of course, that time of the year we'll be able to hear your missions because they'll come through at night.
They should do. I think they will. I don't think there should be any problem copying. It's the refined system here is holding up very nicely. So that's all done good. Yeah, all right.
So this is probably the last one for a few weeks.
Yes, it'll be the last one for a while, and probably at least 2 weeks. It'll be well into April before we're back on board. It'll be almost the end of the month. So that's the way of things. Next weekend we're at Inverloch, and the following weekend I'll be up in the high plains somewhere. So just a note to the one or two listeners out there that we'll suspend things for a little while. So
well, I hope the weather's okay for your job.
Yeah, I hope so. It's a little bit of a unknown. This time of the year can be a bit unpredictable, but it's the time that I've got, so we'll make the most of it. And I don't mind walking in the rain. Yeah. So
keep the rig dry.
Mr. Frank, how are you?
Very well.
Yeah, excellent. Good. Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Frank.
Mr. David, how are you?
Too bad. Well, you have to. What are you going to listen to the next 2 weeks? You'll have to get out the 78 or something.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's right. We'll set you up with a gramophone, and you can, have a listen to have the authentic experience. Yeah. Well, we can get the ball rolling. I've got a 78 on. I really don't know what this is at all. It's just a random record off the shelf. It's from the 20s. I think it's 1927. I've established that. It's an old Brunswick record, and it says Carter's Orchestra. I have no idea who Mr. Carter was. It's a complete unknown. So we'll just jump in the deep end and see what happens. vk3sl testing. Hey, why isn't it working? We'll have to just do a quick check. Yes, there we go. Should be right.
The blues all day since early morn. You came all whispering through the trees. When I woke up this morning, she was gone. Sweet breeze, you blew her from my side. She was my blushing bride, so hear my plea. Hear me begging you upon my knees, blow her back, sweet evening breeze, blow my baby back to me.
Okay, we got there. It's a track called Breeze, Carter's Orchestra, and it's a little bit sort of slow and not terribly exciting, but it was one out of the bag. And on Brunswick, now what else? I think there's a recent upload from Mr. Field Coil using one of his specialised reproducers, and he's just put up a recording of 10 Little Miles from Town, an alternative take. I think I played the other version of this the other day. So we'll listen to Mr. Field, Norman Field. Certainly recommend his YouTube site. He's got all sorts of amazing stuff up there, building his own cylinder machines and resurrecting old field coil reproducers, which he uses here. So we'll have a listen to this, 10 Little Miles from Town.
You'll open your eyes in the morning when the sun starts to rise, and the scrub of feathers blow in the sky, 10 little miles from town. You'll find a stream where white lilies flow, where you can dream in a rickety boat. So come for a day, lock your desk and put your worries away, and it's 10 to 1 if you want to stay 10 little miles from town.
That was Paul Sprecht and the orchestra there, and a alternative take of 10 Little Miles from Town, uploaded by Norman Field.
When would that have been done?
About 1928, I think, that instance. But he's using a really interesting pickup, a vintage electric pickup from that period, which he resurrects them, and he describes them on his YouTube site. They're really interesting projects that he undertakes, and he's built his own cylinder player, and he's even made his own 78 recording device.
Excellent.
He's a really interesting chap, really into 20s music, British fellow, retired gentleman. I've had quite a bit of correspondence with him at different points over technical issues, because I've done similar things.
Talking bits on the web, or just
there's quite a bit. He sort of meanders along and has a story to tell, so I can definitely refer you to his site. It's fascinating. Yeah, and I've noticed that Mr. Techmoan has put up. He's playing cylinders on the air now.
He's branched out.
Yeah, so he's.
I like Techmoan.
I like Techmoan too. I think he's always got an interesting story. He's very slick. And
Good on equipment as well.
he is. He's really sort of, heralds obsolescent equipment and old formats and things, and he speaks really well and has a great way of bringing those stories to the fore.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that Techmoan thing. I haven't looked at it myself.
Yeah, it's really good. I had to hang around the city waiting for someone yesterday for hours, and there was Crowded House playing at the Music Bowl, and I sat
Yes,
there
there were.
under the statue of Mr. Lithano and listened to Techmoan
Much better.
while waiting.
Oh, look, I reckon a cylinder of Crowded House would be quite good.
Yes, they're good indeed. Well, he...
I was down there today at the Botanical Gardens, and they got another band which is far worse than the Crowded House. Crowded House is a good band.
Okay, yeah, well, I could hear them in the background, or sort of, accompanying the video I was watching on my phone. But it was interesting. It's a really... I should play it at some point, because he really... he describes some reissues on Cylinder. It's sort of a bit of a new thing is to for bands to record. It's a merchandising sort of project, really, just to put things out on obsolescent formats, and so there's a band, I can't remember the name of the band, but they've issued their recordings on MP3, but also on 2-minute cylinder, a celluloid cylinder. So
Supposed to play them.
yeah, so the few people have got machines at hand.
Very few, I should say.
Yeah, that's right. But it's more.
Yeah, well, that'll be the next big money making.
Oh, it will.
Churning out
I
mass produced cylinders.
Yes, well,
It'll be just like the vinyl revolution or the cylinder revolution.
it will. Look, I wouldn't.
Vinyl's passé,
It wouldn't
the
surprise me.
cylinders.
Yeah, well, this is exactly. Well, cassettes are back in, of course, in a big way, and I think Mr. Techmoan's getting a lot of hits now. He's a big man and in the scene, and I reckon the price of Edison cylinder players will go up on eBay after this particular program.
Look, a lot of people don't even know they exist.
Well, that's right. So it could sort of spawn something. We'll wait and see. But yeah, it is certainly quite an interesting
Most
presentation.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah, he describes it well, and he's always had a 2-minute player, but he didn't have a 4-minute player, so he's had the particular cylinder, this reissue, in his possession, and he wasn't able to play it. So now he can, and he's just got another machine. But he tells the story really well, and yeah, we get the full picture. So we can maybe at the end we can play that episode. It's
Techmoan. And
yeah.
look, another thing, when you get back from your holidays and stuff,
Yes.
you should organise a big speaker bash and
I'd like to.
and listen and blast session.
I
Bring
think
your
that's
earmuffs
yep.
and your favourite CDs or
Yes.
cylinders, and
Definitely.
make sure the neighbours are out, and we can have a bit of a bash.
I think so. Before you leave town, we must do that.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
I think that's certainly something I'd be. I'd relish that experience. Yep.
Could be the best sound I've heard, I think, from a speaker.
Oh, Dave's LC1As are just unbelievable, especially in the cabinets. I've got the same speaker here in much smaller cabinets, but they need to breathe in a large telephone box.
I heard a pair of quads, which in some ways were as good, at least in some parts of the frequency spectrum, but they didn't have anything like the all-round performance.
Well, see, the quads are a little bit apologetic. I mean, look, they image perfectly, and for choral stuff and for chamber music, they really can't be beaten. For small ensembles, they sound a good set of quad ESLs just sound extraordinary. But I think
you need both, really.
yeah, you probably do need a set of both.
right.
That's true. The RCAs, they load the room, the whole. You just feel the
Just immerse in
auditorium.
it, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. I was at a concert at the Recital Centre last night, and you just feel before the music starts, there's that sort of ambience of atmosphere, and you just hear the incidental sounds and the three-dimensionality of the space, and it's not really a rumble, but there's a presence, and that's what the RCAs do. They sort of create that in their sort of feel, and that's by virtue of having really large loudspeakers in very large cabinets and very high sensitivity. But they are truly amazing. So
Yeah, I think you feel the music. It's sort of it's bodily whole, a body sensation.
it is. It
And
is.
you
It's
miss
for sure.
that. And I think it's like distortion and bass. Like distortion, the higher frequency doesn't matter because it's. If you can't hear 10K, you're not going to hear distortion on 5K because
Yeah.
it's double that.
Yeah.
But the bass, of course, 20, 30, 50 cycles, 100, the doubling and tripling you can certainly hear. And if that distortion adds, I think that makes the thing so you can hear the bass, but you've got that distortion that is really obvious. And when that's not present, it just is an amazing experience.
Yes, it's a visceral thing. You just feel it, and it's sort of a weight to the sound. It's like being in the auditorium. It really is. It's the same sensation. So they load the room up really well. I mean, it's such a subjective thing listening to speakers, and it's everyone will respond to it in a different way. But having sampled a lot of systems, I think this is probably as good as anything I've heard in that sense.
I'd like to hear really top-end speakers. But anyway, we'll have another topic. I'll tell you what, the brand's BBC headphones they go down to 16 cycles. Incredible.
Oh,
if you
16?
Really put them on your ear.
Really?
And
okay.
put a mic there.
Yeah.
Fantastic bass. It's a
How
tinny
amazing.
bass, but
yes.
it's got a tinny, because obviously a resonance, but
yes.
it's incredible how far they go down.
How extraordinary is
and
that?
They go right up above my hearing range.
Well.
It's a bit up and down all over the place.
Yes.
But
yes.
in that control room in Broadcast House, sitting up in the glass thing that they moved out because they didn't want to be bombed by Hitler later on.
Yeah.
They would have heard pretty far what was going on in the booths.
Underestimated. It's interesting, isn't it? But you've really got to push them against your skull in order to get that level of.
That's right.
Yes, because there's leakage
Get the
and.
impedance, right.
Yeah, that's right. You have to have that very high Q contact with your ears. But how about that? So the brandies, I know that you've got you're in progress with that video. Is that?
Look, I've done some experimental work. I haven't actually filmed anything yet, but I'll do.
If you're looking for other headphones, I've got quite a few. You probably got Browns and things like
Look,
that.
I've got Browns. I've got another couple of. It's those early ones. Another brand that were made by for the BBC when they were still a private company.
That's right. Well, there was a certain standard.
They franchised good quality stuff, had to have the BBC brand, and they're really good.
Yes.
The Browns are pretty crap, really. But yeah, Brown. I mean, obviously the BBC wanted that perfect quality from their carbon mic from.
Yes, they're Reese microphones.
Hill, and yes, they wanted everyone to hear that properly. So interesting situation.
Wasn't there a particular Browns headphone that was cut above the rest? Wasn't there a particular model, a Model F or something?
There were some.
Yeah, there's some very high end. But look, it's an interesting one. I've been playing around quite a bit with this ancient loudspeaker that I picked up last week. I won quite surprisingly won an eBay auction for a Dragon speaker, an old Vanderbilt, I think was the name of the brand, English brand from the 1924. And it's got a beautiful oak flare horn on it. And I've polished it up and it looks quite nice. And I thought, I'll see if it works. And it was just super quiet. It did work, but super quiet. But I got some of those little neodymium magnets. And it just completely changed the whole thing. You just pop a couple of magnets on the side and it came alive. That's all you need. So it doesn't take much to reinvigorate. Yeah, you just need to just slap it on the side of the container that holds the reproducer, and you just find the right spot, and then suddenly, wow.
So they must have lost their magnets.
I think they'd lost their... Yes, I took the diaphragm off and there was no magnetism, so I just reassembled it and put little magnets on the side, and it sounds great.
It's interesting. When I was doing that test on the video, I was very careful not to break the magnet's seal.
Yeah, if you break the seal...
And I did it accidentally.
Yes, I noticed that.
And it probably dropped 10 dB, but it still worked okay.
Yes.
Or maybe it was... Anyway, it seems okay. I was always told never pull the diaphragm off a headphone.
Yes.
Because it'll ruin the magnetism.
It does.
It could be an old wives' tale.
Well, I think you're right, because in the same way you can tap a magnet. That's what I did on this other thing, is tapped it against the side. And then it reintroduces that. I mean, the best way to do it, of course, is to get a 12-volt battery and put a winding around the horseshoe magnet. Electrically magnetize it. It's not that hard. You just got to disassemble everything. But I was going to do that with this particular unit I was mentioning, but I couldn't get the whole thing's embedded in wax. And I thought, it was just too much work. So I thought, I noticed online someone said, just put really powerful neodymium magnets against the side and give them a tap, and or sort of put them on aggressively on the side, and then wow, it just came up.
It's and what's it sound like?
It sounds great. It sounds really nice. It's not terribly loud, but then again, I'm just driving it off my iPhone. I just put a little transformer, just a 1K to 8 ohm transformer,
What's the
backwards.
response like?
Yes, and just a little tiny transformer, and it's fine. I can drive it off my phone. Sounds good. Yeah, it's as good as any. I mean, it's what you expect, but you know, you certainly don't have any extension on it. But it's for the purpose
They could make
for a good low.
Bluetooth version.
Yeah, what's it? Oh, you could.
Well, it could. Can get the Bluetooth receivers,
Yeah.
and it can stick it in the back of it and have a modern horn.
Yeah, see, lo-fi's in now. So, you know, a lot of people like a lo-fi experience, and it's, you know, it's like a little basic transistor radio, you know.
Well, the good thing about lo-fi is that when you listen to medium-fi, it just sounds so good.
Yeah, and
Right.
but you climatise to it. So I don't mind that. Sometimes I'm in the mood for lo-fi, and it's fine. You know, you hear the material. It sort of has that sound of the times, and you know, another time. That's why you've got to have lots of different speakers.
Yeah, I think if you listen in fi all the time, you get sick of it and don't
Yeah,
appreciate it.
absolutely.
And I used to listen on the tinny speaker on the back one panel.
Yeah, that sounded
Because
good.
it had that gritty, tinny sound, and it was very intelligible.
Yep.
And you're just listening to stuff like even Techmoan or something. But
Yep.
if you want to listen to music properly, you listen to a big speaker.
Yeah, sure.
It's that juxtaposition of the different everything. You know, you need yin and yang and all that sort of stuff.
You do. I think you need offsets, and you know, I think our minds get nulled quite quickly. I think we were fast on the uptake of a novelty experience, but then we sort of, you know, it's such a subjective thing. Sound. Our brains do all of the, you know, all the processing, and
You just get used to it after a while.
yeah. See, even the RCAs, they sound so impressive, but sometimes I just happy to use the leak sandwich speakers.
Oh, the leaks! I love the leaks. You need leaks. You need bookshelf speakers.
You need a
oratory,
variety.
You need a big switch with different
Yep,
speakers,
yep.
depending on the mood you are.
Yeah, exactly.
And how loud you want things to go.
Totally. Yep.
And those near field speakers, you get a good pair of them. They're pretty good. It's
Yeah.
a different experience, but
Yes.
it's a very good experience.
That's right. I agree. I think you're right. I think near-field monitors certainly have their place. One thing I would like to get is a good set of electrostats. That three-dimensionality, particularly with choral music and
would
chamber
too.
music, is just, it's heavenly. It's
I
like,
almost bought that pair at a few years back, but I think they were good value. But I thought,
Yeah.
where am I going to put them? Because
yeah, I know, they're enormous.
I didn't really have the space. Now I suppose I
Yeah,
can.
well, you've got all the space in the world
I
now.
know, put them in one of the rooms and
You could.
put them in the paddock. It'd be good. And look, they're very clean sound. Like it is
Oh,
fantastic.
they are. They are incredibly clean. It's almost too good to be true. And they've got massive resonance. I mean, they're such a big membrane. Provided they're in good condition. I mean, what the problem with ESLs is that they tend to deteriorate and then they start to buzz and do all sorts of horrible things. And they're not that easy to fix. You've got to get a jig and you've got to get them re-coated and that was the pair. I had the pair for a short time, and I returned them because they were not doing. They worked really well for a week, and then they started to buzz and do weird things, and I returned them to the chap in the big shop. So they were a second-hand pair of ESLs. That was a while back, but yeah, I'd like to get another pair. It'd be great, but you need to get them reconditioned and get them in really good condition, and not have to muck around trying to fix them, because they're not the sort of thing you can just do in the workshop.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, but they are a classic speaker. I mean, you need probably a different type with those, a pair of RCAs and leaks.
Yes, that's right.
Tannoys, of course.
Tannoys, well,
and
they're another.
I'd love a pair of big booming Eltecs too.
Oh, Eltecs are amazing. Oh, they're just so American. They're larger than life sound, and yeah, I love the sound of those Eltecs with a little horn in the middle.
That's right. That super PA horn spurting out the high frequencies.
Oh yeah,
You can't ignore them.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're not subtle like the RCA ones.
No,
but
they're
they're
not.
certainly there.
And
I had a big pair of big white speakers that belonged to McLean Sound Systems. And they were rented out, and they never came and got them back. And I had them for quite a few years until they wondered where they were. And they were great for. They weren't super fi, but they're fantastic for blast parties.
Okay.
Incredible.
Yeah, sure.
And
that would have been excellent. Big bins, yeah. No, look, it's there are lots of ways to do things, but I think a variety is the best thing. You need to have a whole range, and you have a listening room with all manner of different alternatives. And look, even the little roller speaker on a 77 Mark III is not too bad.
It's got its own appeal, hasn't it?
It does. I like listening to that.
A nice woolly sound.
It is.
It's just resonant in that little
Yeah.
the lure
Yes,
cover.
I know.
It must filter the sound a bit.
It does. It does. But they work well. And it's also a timestamp thing. If you've had exposure when you're young, I think people are very quickly connect with formative experience. And when I hear those, I just think back to 3CR back in the 70s when I was a kid. Yeah, it's there's a place for everything. So yeah, it'd be good to get some Oratones. I think that'd be a good a near field monitors. I think they certainly.
The good thing is that if they sound good on them, they probably sound good anything.
Yeah,
on anything.
That's right.
And
a good test.
there's not super anything out of them, but they're clean and basic.
Yep.
And then when you do listen to super speakers, you appreciate them.
That's right. It
but-
provides perspective. I agree.
And
Yeah.
I often do when I'm mix downs and stuff. I often use the Oratones. But of course, the trouble is then you play them on a big speaker and you've got to hum a fundamental 50 hertz hum. You don't hear in
You don't hear them in the
Oratones.
Oratones. Yeah, that's
the only problem why you really do need big speakers.
Yeah, just to work with that. Yeah, that's always.
It's amazing the CDs, the hum and stuff you hear on that Hendrix little wing.
Oh yeah.
There's about 30 seconds a hum comes up.
Really?
Yep.
Gee,
It's
poor
quite
mastering.
obvious,
Wow.
and then it goes off. And I've got one of the classic one of the CDs of Ina Kleiner.
Oh yes.
Night music.
Yes.
And half of that there's a buzz.
Really?
It comes up, and through all of that, about 10 minutes, then it goes off.
How about that? So
The guy
someone
must have thought, oh God, shit, hope no one notices this.
yeah, they probably just switched it off and thought, oh, well, just let that one go to the keeper.
And it's really obvious.
Yes.
I forget what the brand label was.
Yeah,
but it was
yeah.
a proper full
Yes.
expensive label.
Yes. Wouldn't surprise me at all because they probably thought, oh, they won't know. Yeah. Well, that's very very revealing. But with something like the RCAs, you'd hear any phase issues. I mean, that's the other thing. They're so coherent in the vocal range, the RCAs, because they're seamless. You don't hear any crossover distortion at all.
Yeah.
It's
They're fantastic for vocals. It's beautiful.
they're just amazing for vocals.
Yes,
It's just it's a it has a physical effect on the listener.
It certainly does. When you play the screaming, what about the opera thing there, the test?
Oh yes, the Angelo Giorgio. That was a good test material.
Yeah, I don't think anything ever did come through.
Yeah, see,
well.
that was amazing. Oh, that was a huge, incredible
Well,
test.
ears distort. They just
Yeah.
go terrible, don't they?
They
They've got
do. They do. Yes, they hit the wall. But Whizzacones have their problems. They listen to any like the old Goodmans and things with Whizzacones. If you get exactly the right spot, they sort of beam and they can be okay. But there's always some crossover distortion. And then when you switch over to something like the RCAs, which have got that phase alignment, it's a revelation, really.
I must go and buy some, marine plywood and make
Yes.
cabinets for the ones I've got.
Oh well, you'll need to
And,
because you'll have to for the housewarming party.
That's right. It's interesting. Like the RCA in the Type 3 cabinet is good, but it's totally different. It's a thump bass rather than the clean bass.
Yes.
It's like a great disco speaker, but it lacks. It totally changes its characteristics.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It is. Well, it's very similar to how they sound here. I think there's only 6 cubic feet inside a Type 3, which is nowhere near enough.
You could make that top bit, drill holes and make a box on that, which had the amplifier on.
Yeah, you could. Yes, you could. You could readjust the cabinet, but you're better off starting again and just making one of those big cabinets, the big one that Mr. Olsen designed, and so
Very simple to make. Actually.
yeah, it's just a big box, really.
And
Yeah, but look, they need to breathe. They need to have a large space. But I've often wondered what they'd sound like in an open baffle. Now, this is one area that people rave about open baffle speakers, but I've never really explored the concept.
Well, I could make a big open baffle and no one's going to complain. The neighbour's a long way away.
Yeah.
And I could just have a big, see what they sound like.
Yeah, look, apparently they sound, if you get a
baffle.
Yeah, if you have a large enough baffle, they sound as good as apparently sound as good as anything, and they really just, they breathe and they work really well. Now, I remember Mr. Briggs from Wharfdale came out with an open baffle design, which was in a cabinet very similar size to the ESLs, the ESL 57s, the electrostats, and he designed a cabinet. Look, they almost looked the same. It came out at the same time, and the reviews compare them favourably. And it used just 3 drivers, and I'd love to hear what one of those Briggs Wharfdale open baffles actually sounds like.
Well, look, you've got to hang it from a crane over the moors, of course.
Yes.
But look, when if you have a speaker, you put a neck mic in the speaker so you don't get that cancellation. Even your cheap 1950s radiogram speaker sounds amazing. And you put a radiogram speaker in the big cabinets, they sound amazing as well.
Yes.
So I think an open baffle, really any speaker would sound amazing.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to test it out.
Yes, you need to do it on an old door or something. It needs to be a large.
It has to be very solid so it doesn't resonate.
That's exactly it, and it has to be sizable.
Marine ply or something.
Yeah, otherwise you'll get cancellation effects and sort of a lumpy bass.
That's right, yeah.
But and you need to be able to position it in a room so it's got space behind it as well. So you really do need space, a larger.
Or drill a hole in the wall and just have that'd be good.
Well, that's another way of doing it. Yes, just sort of mount them in the wall.
Yep, if you've got a thick wall, a brick wall.
Yeah.
But it's look, I think the cabinets make all the difference, and you test the ancient speakers and they sound really good if they've got a decent cabinet.
Yes.
Because the resonance goes right down, like it's just all mathematics. But the old Victor Pyrox speaker sounds damn good.
Yeah.
They sound great in those small little box cabinets.
That's right. Well, they're open baffles effectively.
Yeah, and in the box they're just amazing. Nothing above 4kc, but
well,
fixed up.
That's incidental. Yeah.
I mean, the optical soundtrack didn't have much above that.
No, that's right. Natural. Yeah.
So look, I
pass.
think I haven't done tests for probably 10 years, but I was thinking I've got those attachments you can put speakers.
That's right.
things.
You made some templates to be able to mount them.
You can put a little 2-inch speaker, like you get from one of those computer speaker little. And they sound magnificent in a big box.
Yes, indeed. No, they do. They sound really good. Another design which I'd love to explore one day would be to use like a wall, do a Phil Spector and have like a wall and put a whole stack of drivers, just mount them all on the wall.
The wall is the baffle.
Yeah, make the wall, but use them all on their very lowest threshold, so none of the speakers are being excited too much.
Yes, that's right.
And apparently they sound really transparent.
Indeed.
Yeah, so you get about 20 speakers and you just wire them all in parallel, series parallel, and just get the ohm, get it right.
Have you any phasing issues?
Well, apparently they can sound really good, and the more mismatched they are, the better. And
yeah, because they'd fill up the dumps, like the averaging sort of thing with their response.
Yeah.
And you just need crap speakers, probably the more.
Yeah, that's right, because you're using them only at about 10% of their threshold, so they're never going to be driven into distortion.
They're not going to break up the cone and all that.
No, that's right. You don't go into that cone breakup. And
still getting the volume that you require.
Yeah, that's right, by virtue of just having stacks of them. So it's like one wall of a cone, it's like effectively a 4-metre cone.
Well, yeah, almost like those cone driver speakers.
Oh, well, there's another one.
That's another interesting thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I do urge people to look up online experiments with panel speakers. And
yes, I'll do that. I haven't done that yet.
There's one fellow in America who's taken it really seriously, and he's done all these measurements, and apparently they sound absolutely extraordinary. And it's just using a little tiny driver, the size of size of a beer coaster, and that's all it is. And you mount it at a certain point on a driving panel of a particular size, and he's experimented with all the different points, and apparently they just sound really, really good.
They vibrate the panel.
They vibrate the panel, yeah. That's all it is, just a vibrating membrane. There's a particular make, and they're really cheap. I mean, and people used to put them on glass on walls and windows and things like that.
Before these, the JBL boombox speakers came, a bit popular, they made like a thing you connect to your iPhone, and you stick it onto a wall, and it sounds like boom speakers. It sounds
just as good or better. Yeah, just a little thing you just attach. Yeah, that's all it takes. So there's all these alternatives, different ways forward. Well, we'll do it. We'll have a big speaker boom test here. That's right. And we'll
up in the afternoon when everyone's out.
Yeah, that's right. And then we'll be able to report on the subject, and then we'll have a whole lot of new conclusions. Yeah. Oh, that'll be good. Most excellent. All right, speaker mania. Yeah, but the bottom line is that with any of this is that the subjective factor is that we're very easy. It's very easy to sort of fall into that sort of placebo zone.
A few champagnes will make every speaker
I think
so fantastic.
They sound amazing after champagne, and even better after half a bottle of champagne.
But no, you're listening to a little tinny transistor sound. That's fantastic.
Yeah, no, they all sound good. Oh yes, so there's lots of potential there. So we'll go with that subject for sure. Well, look, the other day we were listening to these recordings of Louis Jordan, and I'm just fascinated with this character. He's sort of
great bloke.
Yeah, really interesting.
Really talented.
Yeah, and he's another crossover artist between the rhythm and blues and rock and roll. Started off in the swing era, and I mean the fact that he was a major influence in the early rock and roll is really significant. But here's a recording of him and his Timpani 5. I think this one's from the late 1940s. It's a Decca personality series, it says here. And it's Louis Jordan and his Timpani 5 and a track called Choo Choo Boogie. I think it's just...
I'll go back listening on the AM3.
Okay, just recorded just after the Second World War. Let's have a listen.
Heading for the station with a pack on my back. I'm tired of transportation in the back of a hack. I love to hear the rhythm of the clickety-clack and hear the lonesome whistle, see the smoke from the stack, and pal around with Democratic fellas named Mac. So take me right back to the track, Jack. Choo-choo, choo-choo, choo-boogie, woo-woo, woo-woo, choo-boogie, choo-choo, choo-choo, choo-boogie. Take me right back to the track, Jack. Your destination, but alas and alack, you need some compensation to get back in the black. You take a morning paper from the top of the stack and read the situations from the front to the back. The only job that's open needs a man with a knack, so put it right back in the rack, Jack. Choo-choo, choo-choo, choo-boogie, woo-woo, woo-woo, choo-boogie, choo-choo, choo-choo, choo-boogie. Take me right back to the track, Jack. Gonna settle down by the railroad track, live the life of Riley in the beaten down shack. So when I hear a whistle I can peep through the crack and watch the train a-rolling when it's falling a jack. For I just love the rhythm of the click. So take me right back to the track, Jack. Choo-choo, choo-choo, choo-boogie, woo-woo, woo-woo, choo-boogie, choo-choo, choo-choo, choo-boogie. Take me right back to the track, Jack. Take me right back to the track, Jack.
Louis Jordan and his Timpani 5, and I think that was recorded just after the war, and strong rhythm and blues flavour there. But we had a program on Louis Jordan the other day, and I want to keep riffing on the subject because I'm quite intrigued by any crossover artist, and he was really a fantastic musician through and through. Just amazing.
It's amazing that from 1945,
yes,
or whatever.
Yes, that's right.
It
from
just
that
sounds
period.
so 1950s, mid-50s.
Yep, absolutely. And he had a major influence on the early rock and roll performers.
He was always ahead of his time.
Yeah, it seems to be, but he goes way back, you know. I mean, he was playing with Chick Webb back in the early 1930s, so, you know...
He's never dated, you see.
Just the thing is, you know, he's obviously someone who just had this imagination for new things, and he's not sort of given adequate credit. I think we sort of looked at this the other day. That
well, aficionados know about him and love him.
Yeah.
He's got a cult following.
I think you're right. But look...
It's basically Bill Haley 10 years beforehand.
Well, that's right.
Exactly right.
Exactly, that's it. So he's exploiting the rhythm and blues flavour and really sort of moving it into the fore. But the great thing is that he sort of took the new movement in his stride, and we've got a recording here of a track called Rock and Roll Call from 1955. So we can style this one up, have a listen to it. And Louis Jordan again, and in his later guys. Let's have a listen. vk3sl testing.
vk3sl.
Rock and roll is calling you. Rock for me, I'll rock for you. Answer when the roll is called. Sign your name and that is all. Everybody, one and all. Rock and roll and have a ball. Sam, Harry, Willie, Joe, Steve, Al, Ben and Bo, George, Pete, Lou and Ike, John, Jack, James and Mike, Bob, Duke, Dan and Pat, Bert, Eddie, Phil and Nat. A, B, C, and D. Roll on down from A to Z. 1 plus 1 is 2. Rock and roll is calling you. C-A-T is cat. Just get groovy where you at. 2 plus 2 is 4. Dim the lights, close the door. 4 plus 4 is 8. Hurry, baby, just can't wait. Reading and writing is good enough, but rock and roll beats all that Rock and roll is calling you. Rock for me, I'll rock for you. Answer when the roll is called. Sign your name and that is all. Everybody, one and all. Rock and roll and have a ball. Dottie, Lena, Dinah, Sue, Liza, Jane, and Mandy Lou, Mary, Rose, and Ruth and Jean, Fanny, Flo, Annie, and Irene, Edna, Pearl, and Blanche, and Sadie, Portia, Peggy, Patty, and Katie. If I haven't called your name, you can invite it just the same. Come on, one and all, let's rock and roll and have a ball.
There we have it, Louis Jordan there from 1955, I think. So a little bit after Bill Haley, but it's got the offbeat sort of drive there, and certainly a strong rhythm.
Actually better than Bill Haley.
Yeah, it's far more earthy, far more. Bill Haley.
He's more of a consummate musician than
I
Bill.
think so. Yeah, Bill Haley always sounds a little bit contrived to me. But
Yes, he was contrived. He was okay for what he did.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But this guy is far deeper and more flexible and more inventive.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. No, he's just a really interesting guy, and the fact that he was sort of inhabiting all these spaces, looking at the early call and response stuff from the early 30s, the Cab Calloway influence is really strong.
Oh yeah.
And you can sort of
That was
hear
that Caledonia thing.
Yeah.
That to me, that sounded very Cab Calloway.
Oh, it certainly was. We can dial that up, actually. But before doing that, I've got a Transcriptione here, a 16-inch record here. Louis Jordan and his Timpani 5. We listened to a couple of tracks from this, but I'll play one or two more and see if we can investigate things further. Here we go. We've got Paperboy or Riding in an Upper Berth. What do you suggest there, Frank? These are.
Let's go riding in an upper berth. I'm curious.
Yes, it sounds intriguing, doesn't it? Goodness knows what he's talking about.
I know.
So let's see. Track C. These are all lock grooves on a 16-inch record. A, B, C. I think we can just put that in. Here we go. Yeah, we're listening to the music of Louis Jordan. Louis Jordan and his Timpani 5 there. And, certainly got lots of jive spirit in that record.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he's sort of, he's bringing forward the progressive jazz movements from his time and sort of reinventing it, or is a part of the new vogue.
It all sounds authentic, doesn't he?
It does. It's just, he's on top of his game. He just knows what he's doing. He's not trying to sort of be something else. He's just full front, just taking it on board.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fabulous stuff. There's all sorts of amazing stuff out here. Here's one called GI Jive. It came from 1944, and apparently this spent half a year on the pop and R&B charts in 1944. Now, that's significant, isn't it?
Sure is. That's, in those days, for all those days, that's very unusual.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It's incredible. So here we go. 1944, GI Jive. We're listening to the music of Louis Jordan. vk3sl Test Machines.
CPL, SGT, the LT, CP, the OD, the MP makes you do cappy. It's a GI Jive, man alive. It starts with a bugle blowing reveille over your bed when you arrive. Hey, Jack, that's a GI Jive. Roodly toot, jump in your suit, make a salute. Arrivoot, after you wash and dress, more or less, you go get get your breakfast from a beautiful little cafe they call the Mess. Hey, Jack, when you convalesce out of your seat into the street, make with your feet or read. If you're PVT, your duty is to salute the L-I-E-U-T. But if you brush the L-I-E-U-T, the MP makes you KP on the QT. It's just a G.I. jive, man alive. They give you a private tank that features a little device called fluid drive. Hey, Jack, after you revive, chunk all your junk back in your trunk, fall on your bunk, clunk. It's called fluid drive. Hey, Jack, after you revive, chunk all your junk back in your trunk, fall on your bunk, clunk. If you're PFC and you fail to salute the LT, the MP makes you KP on the QT. Then you'll go to sleep before you count to 5. But when you wake up in the morning, you'll have to do the G.I. jive.
Louis Jordan and his Timpani 5 there from 1944. And it's a record that reached number 1 for half a year. Incredible.
It is incredible.
Yeah, astonishing stuff.
Almost unheard of, I think.
Well, it is really. I think it was in the charts, but couldn't have been number 1.
Yeah, it wouldn't be number 1.
No, but it was.
Even to be in the charts for that long.
Yeah, that's it. So, but look, yeah, he's got that. He's got that sort of rock and roll fervour. Even then,
yes, he's got this sense of the boogie and rhythm and blues going really right through. Certainly from the early 40s anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And he's got that raw sound without it sounding vulgar.
Yeah, that's well put. Yeah, that's exactly right.
I think that's
where he differs from Bill Haley, I think.
Yeah, it just sort of sounds rather sort of...
Haley's good, but it's sort of crude, really.
Yeah, in a sense it is. So there we go. Louis Jordan is really... Oh, gosh, there's so much stuff here. Here's an early one. I'll jump all over the place because we don't have to go chronological. We can hear this in just whatever comes up on the list. Here's another early one from his days with Chick Webb, going back to the mid-1930s. Now he's inhabiting a totally different style. He's very much in the swing era here. It's before the rhythm and blues influence was quite as obvious. And it's a track called Rusty Hinge. So let's have another listen to Louis Jordan and the band. vk3sl.
Rusty hinge on a binge, never satisfied with what I've got. I'm good for nothing. Rusty hinge, always cringe. I'll be drinking my corn till Gable blows his horn. That music gets me swinging. Maybe I don't know what it means to swing. Baby, I don't care when I open my mouth and start to sing. Rusty hinge on a binge, never satisfied with what I've got. I'm a good for nothing rusty hinge.
About 1936, 37, thereabouts, and a track called Rusty Hinge, featuring Louis Jordan with Chick Webb and his orchestra. That's where he got his first big break. And I presume that alto sax solo towards the end was him, and but just really knew what he was doing, top of his game. So, yeah, fascinating, and very much a swing recording, so it's sort of an earlier incarnation. But
yeah, well, he did that beautifully.
He did. Yeah, a great singer. He's got a really sort of, solid vocal, he's not out of tune or he's not fragile. He's got that...
He's at home in whatever he does.
Yeah, it seems to be the case. I'll read this on Friday, but I'll read it again because it's still a bit of it again. This is a reflection from Chris Barber, and he did a gig with...
Yeah, read that. That's good.
Yeah, he did a gig with Mr. Jordan at the Apollo Theatre in New York in 1950-60 mumble. And Chris Barber says, playing with Jordan was just frightening, he said. It's a little bit like an amateur guitar player from a back street who has just bought a Spanish guitar working with Segovia. Wow, what a thing to say. He didn't make you feel small, but he was just so perfect at what he did. And he says, I still remember watching him singing, but he would accompany himself on the alto, and you were convinced he was playing the alto while he was singing. The breath hadn't gone from his last word before he was playing his alto, and it seemed to be simultaneous. Yeah. He said it's interesting. There's a sort of a rather more sober note that follows, and Barber says that he feels that Jordan got a raw deal from history. He said in the Chick Webb band there were two regular singers, Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Jordan. And that's what we just heard, a recording from that period, from the Chick Webb band in the 30s. And yet really history has consigned him to just being a comedy vocal artist with a bit of rock and roll and the first alto. But he was such a consummately good singer that it's sad he wasn't known more for singing.
It is true that perhaps to the public at large that's what he is. But as I say, he has a fairly sizable cult following who knows what he's all about.
Yeah, for sure. No, he's fascinating. Well, look, I'll go back to this transcription record because there's another one of his narrative songs. He was great for sort of... Well, it's very much a part of the blues tradition, really, isn't it?
Very much.
I mean, that
he did it beautifully.
Yeah, so that narrative is telling a story, but he
like that fish fry song.
Yeah, I know, he played that on Friday.
Yeah.
Listen back to the log, folks. There's a lot more of Louis Jordan on Friday. We went crazy. Well, I suppose we're going crazy now. This is a track called Paper Boy, and it's a sort of the transcription, so I'll just cue it up, and we'll have a listen.
Paper boy, while other kids are cutting capers, you're awfully busy selling papers. just ain't got no time to play. Paper boy, your shoes are worn beyond repairing. You're not ashamed of what you're wearing, because you've had a busy day. When you shout, hey mister, want a paper?
Yes, son.
Folks who read just can't refuse. Everybody buys all your papers, keeping up with the latest news. Paper boy, a kid like you with your ambition, someday will have a high position, although you're just a paper boy. Want the evening paper?
Yes, sir.
Folks who read just can't refuse. Everybody buys all your papers, keeping up with the latest news. Paper boy, a kid like you with your ambition, someday, son, you're gonna hold a high position. But right now, you ain't nothing but a paper boy.
Louis Jordan and his Timpani 5 there off a transcription recording. And yeah, great with a narrative singing, very much a blues song. And look, I think that really he's just as good as Mr. Fats.
He is. He's a bit different.
Yeah, very different style. He hasn't got the sort of the comic feel and that Fats does, or that sort of mania.
He's not quite as out there as Fats.
No, but he's just got a really excellent communicator. So, that's been pretty good to.
He's actually he's done more different things than Fats has done.
Oh, most definitely.
That was sort of, he had one big thing, which is his stride piano.
That's right.
And his comic writing and his personality,
totally,
which is all great. But it's sort of more self-contained, isn't it, than what the spread of things that Louis did. Yeah,
well, it's exactly it. He sort of moved with the times and sort of reinvented himself. There's a TV special here from the 1960s.
Oh.
So yeah, and with again with his Timpani 5, and it's called Rambunk Scush. A live performance, and I refer people to this if they look it up online. It's pretty. It's a colour film from the 60s. It's a TV thing. I don't know what its origins, where it came from, but we'll have to go with this. So again, Rambunk Scush, the music of Louis Jordan. Monks. Gosh, that was the music of Louis Jordan in the 1960s TV special there, On Fire. And wow, what a different, couldn't be more different than what we were listening to a couple of tracks ago from the early 30s.
That's right.
He moved
it was the same person.
Indeed, he moved with the times. And yeah, I love the Hammond organ on that recording. That was great.
It was terrific.
Yeah, good fun. Yeah.
It was a B3, I reckon.
Oh, right. Yes, it's
got that edge on it.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I thought that was great. They were really going for it, that group. They were on fire. And so 60s happenings. There's also there's a recording made just before he carked, and he was going right up until the end. I think he just sort of had a bit of a heart event which knocked him off his perch. But
how old was he, Jim?
Oh, only in his late 60s.
At all?
Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, I think he would have been. I don't think he'd quite clocked 70.
He's a pretty high energy sort of guy.
Yeah. When was he born? 1908. So
that's right.
So that's 60. He died in 74. So
68.
Yeah. So yeah. Not that old. So here we go. His ain't. We heard the song yesterday, but we heard an earlier version. This is made just before he dropped off the perch in 1974, a live performance. But he does talk at the start, so it's a bit of fun. Ain't nobody here but us chickens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's listen to a version of this song. vk3sl Test Missions.
Here's a tune that I recorded about 35 years ago. I kind of like chickens. I recorded a lot of tunes about chickens. And I'm sure that you know I love chicken. That leg, I just lay on that. The name of this tune is Ain't Nobody Here But Us Chickens. Was taking the air. He locked up the barnyard with the greatest of care. Down in the hen house, something stirred. When he shouted, "Who's there?" This is what he heard. There ain't nobody here but us chickens. Nobody here at all. So calm yourself. Stop that fuss. There ain't nobody here but us. We chickens trying to sleep, and you bust in and hobble, 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 hobble with your chin. There ain't nobody here but us chickens. Nobody here at all. You're stomping around and shaking the ground. You're kicking up an awful dust. We chickens trying to sleep, and you bust in and hobble, 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 hobble. It's a sin. Hey, tomorrow is a busy day. We got things to do. We got eggs to lay. We got ground to dig and worms to scratch. Takes a lot of setting, getting chicks to hatch. There ain't nobody here but us chickens. Nobody here at all. So calm yourself. Stop that fuss. There ain't nobody here but us. Kindly point that gun the other way and hobble, hobble, hobble off and hit the head. It's a busy day. We got things to do. We got eggs to lay. We got ground to dig and worms to scratch. It takes a lot of setting, getting chicks to hatch. There ain't nobody here but us chickens. Nobody here at all. So calm yourself. Stop that fuss. There ain't nobody here but us. Kindly point that gun the other way and hobble, hobble, hobble off and get the hey, 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 daddy, it's easy wicked. There ain't nobody here but us chicken. Oh no! Oh no!
There we go. Louis Jordan and his Timpani 5 from 1974, that performance.
Terrific.
Yeah, he didn't slow down, did he?
It's as good as ever.
Yeah, and very jazz inspired, of course. So, yeah, he sort of moved into that zone in the 70s. Well, I'm completely floored by his talent and his fortitude, and he's someone with great vision. And I'd like to learn more. Well, but I've got to go. I've got to go inside. But what I can do, I can play a Louis Jordan playlist. Someone's compiled a list.
Excellent.
It's someone who seems to know their stuff. And I don't think any of these recordings are played. So we can just run with this.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's a YouTube playlist. So I reckon we'll just follow on with this to wind up today. So we look forward to catching up in a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah, have a great holiday.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you. And all's well with you, by the way. You're all good.
Yeah, we had the picnic in the botanical gardens.
It all happened. It all
near the observatory gate there, the old observatory.
Excellent.
And saw the grandkids and caught up with a neighbour from a cousin from Queensland of Kathy's. So
okay,
all was well.
Sounds great. Well, I wish you a good week and enjoy your Easter concerts. So we'll debrief on those when we catch up next.
Just before you go, how was last night's concert?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, it was really good at the recital. So good to be back at the recital centre hearing live music. It's an amazing venue. The highlight for me was work by Percy Granger. The band played Lincolnshire Posy. It's good, isn't it? It's a 7-movement work.
Yeah, it's really good.
Really fascinating, actually, because he does sorts of some really cryptic, interesting harmonic quips in the music.
It's a folk, yes, he does.
Yeah, it's very folksy, but it sort of finishes on interrupted cadences.
Yeah. There's a bit tongue-in-cheek, a lot of it, isn't it?
I think it is. It's very clever. Henry really loves it because it's just so well written, and his harmonic sense is so involved, and it draws real colours out of the band, and I thought they did it really well.
Oh, that's terrific.
And the rest of the program was sort of contemporary music, which was fun, but I think the Granger is what resonated with me.
Sure.
So all right.
I just come back from a walk.
Oh, yes.
And, I was listening to you. I can listen to it on the little pocket transistor radio.
Okay.
Not as strong as when it was boosted, obviously.
Right.
But I had a walk around the park, so all very, very interesting. So we'll see you in a few weeks, I suppose.
Indeed, yes. Be back on board in a few weeks. All the best with the organisation and the
Yes, likewise.
Envisaging all of the new frontiers, and we'll definitely work out find a time for a speaker, a listening session for sure. So it's a topic that always interests me. So gentlemen, all the best. Have a good week, and we'll finish up now with this playlist, more music of Louis Jordan, recordings from 1939 to 1973. So we'll let this ride for the next 45 minutes or so. So thanks again. Have a good week. And I'll say, take my leave, vk3sl, saying cheers for now.
3JR, cheers.
Okay.
Morning, babe, you ain't got home yet. It's 4 in the morning, babe, you ain't got home yet. I cried and cried till my pillow's soaking wet. get started since you threw me down. I can't get started since you threw me down. I thought you were the square babe and you played me for a clown. I love you, baby, but you don't mean me no good. I loved you, baby, but you don't mean me no good. You give me so much trouble, I believe I moved from your neighborhood.
Good morning, blues, blues, how do you do? Yeah, good morning, blues, blues, how do you do? I would like to have just a few words with you. I woke up this morning with an awful aching head. Yes, early this morning with an awful aching head. Now my man had left me a room in an empty bed. Ain't it hard to love another woman's man? Girls, it's so hard to love another woman's man. You can't get him when you want him. You've got to catch him when you can. Takes a good smart woman these days. Takes a good smart woman these days. Yes, to hold her man when these gals has got so many different ways. I'm gonna watch my man. Don't care what these other gals say. Lord, 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 oh Lord. Lord, Lord. Say these men in Harlem treat poor me
Box, have you dug the latest jive on the thoroughfare?
No, man.
Well, they got him.
They got who?
You know that man that's been cooking up that jive, selling to these folks around town, making them have them funny dreams?
You mean the hoodoo man?
Yeah.
Oh, no. That cat thought he was just too grand.
Well, Gate, somebody done hoodooed the hoodoo man.
Smack me down with the story, Gate.
Old Johanna from Louisiana, a hoodoo king in every manner. But I found out without a doubt the tables had turned on him. He ain't got a tooth in his head. Poor Joe's almost dead. Somebody done hoodooed the hoodoo man. 10, 10, double 10, 45, 15. Joe can't drink no gin. Ain't nothing goes over the devil's back that don't buckle under his chin. His face looks just like gravel sand, and everybody's got Joe on the pan. Somebody done hoodooed the hoodoo man. Not too cold and not too hot. They dropped a few drops in Joe's beef stew. Now he's blowing his top. He don't know what to do. They don't know who did it. They can't find out, but he done hoodooed his last hoodoo without a doubt. Somebody done hoodooed the hoodoo man. You were drinking moonshine whiskey and trying to jive for me. Yes, I love you. Yes, I love you. what you do. If you want to be my woman, I'm not gonna let you run around. If you run around, baby, stop and lay my money down. Yes, I love you. Yes, I love you. Yes, I love you, and I don't care what you do. I'm gonna move way out on the outskirts of town. I'm gonna move.
I'm sorry about the break in transmission. That's untoward. I think someone else in this household is using YouTube, so we'll investigate. By the way, this is vk3sl.
I don't want nobody always hanging around. I'm gonna tell you, baby, we gonna move away from here. I don't want no Iceman, I'm gonna get me a Frigidaire when we move way out on the outskirts of town. I don't want nobody always hanging around. I'm gonna bring my own groceries, bring 'em every day. That'll stop that grocery boy and keep him away when we move way out on the outskirts of town. I don't want nobody always hanging around. It may seem funny, honey, it may be funny as can be, but if we have any children, I want them all to look like me. That's why I'm gonna move way out on the outskirts of town. I don't want nobody always hanging around. dirty shame. It's a low down dirty, dirty, dirty shame. I'm crazy about a married woman, but I'm afraid to call her name. She's a no good woman, don't mean no one man no good. She's a no good woman, don't mean no one man no good. I don't blame that woman, I'd be the same way if I could. Baby, 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 that's all right for you. Baby, 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 that's all right for you. That's all right, baby, most any old way you do.
Always late. Anytime we have a date, but I love her. Yes, I love her. I'm going to walk right up to her gate and see if I can get it straight, 'cause I want her. I'm gonna ask her, is you is or is you ain't my baby? The way you're acting lately makes me doubt. Yours is still my baby, baby. Seems my flame in your heart's done gone out. A woman is a creature that has always been strange. Just when you're sure of one, you find she's gone and made a change. Is you is or is you ain't my baby? Maybe baby's found somebody new, or is my baby still my baby true?
was Adam, happy as a man could be. Till Eve got him messing with that old apple tree. Ain't that just like a woman? Ain't that just like a woman? Yes, that's just like a woman. They'll do it every time. Lot took his wife down to the corner store for malted. She wouldn't mind her business, boy, that she gets salted. Ain't that just like a woman? Ain't that just like a woman? Yes, that's just like a woman. They'll do it every time. Samson thought Delilah was on the square, till one night she clipped him for all his hair. Ain't that just like a woman? Yes, that's just like a woman. Ain't that just like a woman? They'll do it every time. Sure will. We have learned that Nero fiddled while Rome was burned. Ain't that just like a woman? Ain't that just like a woman? Yes, that's just like a woman. They'll do it every time. Marie Antoinette met them hungry cats at the gate. They were crying for bread. She said, let them eat cake. Ain't that just like a woman? Ain't that just like a woman? Yes, that's just like a woman. They'll do it every time. Give her money on the side. No matter what you do, she's never satisfied. Ain't that just like a woman? Ain't that just like a woman? Yes, that's just like a woman. They'll do it every time. Let the good times roll. Let the good times roll. Don't care if you're young or old. Get together and let the good times roll. Don't sit there mumbling and talking trash. If you want to have a ball, you got to go out and spend some cash. And let the good times roll. Let the good times roll. Don't care if you're young or old. Get together and let the good times roll. Hey, Mr. Landlord, lock up all the doors. When the police comes around, tell them the joint is closed. And let the good times roll. Let the good times roll. Don't care if you're young or old. Get together and let the good times roll. Hey, y'all, tell everybody, Mr. Jordan's in town. I got $1.25, and I'm just Randy Clown. But don't let nobody play me cheap. I got 50 cents more that I'm gonna keep. So let the good times roll. Let the good times roll.
Don't care if you're young or old, get together and let the good times roll. Yeah, no matter whether it's rainy weather, birds of a feather gotta stick together. So get yourself under control and go out and get together and let the good times roll.
Oiga, mulata. Yeah, papa. Yeah, Manuel. Oh, papa. Hey, Pedro. Hey, Pedro. Don't you need to act like I think I'm kissing me sister. Hey, lady, you may take up Spanish, but I ain't. Hey, Pedro, where we gonna eat them?
Early in the morning and I can't get right. Had this date with my baby last night. Now it's early in the morning. Early in the morning. Early in the morning and I ain't got nothing but the blues. I went to all the places where we used to go. I went to her house, but she don't live there no more. Now it's early in the morning. Early in the morning. Early in the morning and I ain't got nothing but the blues. I went to a girlfriend's house, but she was out. I knocked on her mother's door and she began to shout, "Get away now, boy." It's early in the morning. It's early in the morning. Early in the morning and I ain't got nothing but the blues. I went to Jenny Lou's to get something to eat. The waitress looked at me and said, "Pop, you sure look good." Now it's early in the morning. Early in the morning. Early in the morning and I ain't got nothing but the blues. I had a lot of money when I started out. I couldn't find my baby, now my money's run out. Now it's early in the morning. Early in the morning. Early in the morning and I ain't got nothing but the blues.
Now listen, Mr. President, all you congressmen too, you got me all frustrated and I don't know what to do. I'm trying to make $1, can't even save a cent. It takes all my money just to eat and pay
my rent. That's why I got the blues. Got those inflation blues. I'm not one of those highbrows. I'm average Joe to you. I came up eating cornbread, candy yams, and chicken stew. Now you take that paper dollar, it's only that in name. The way that paper buck is shrunk, it's a low down dirty shame. I got the blues, got those inflation blues. The price of sugar so I can make my coffee sweet. I like to smear some butter on my bread, and you know I gotta have my meat. When you stopped rationing, you really played the game. But things are going up and up and up and up and up, and my check remains the same. That's why I got the blues, got those inflation blues. Started rocking, we really had a time. The house was rocking, I almost lost my mind. I couldn't boogie real slow with the blue lights way down low. I couldn't boogie real slow with the blue lights way down low. Folks kept a knocking, kept on coming in. The folks was knocking till it was 10:30. They did the boogie real slow, till the blue lights way down low. They did the boogie real slow with the blue lights way down low. Girls and boys made so much noise, they even had a raid. The only thing those cops could find was ice cream and lemonade. Oh, what a party! I should have stayed at home. Oh, what a party! I was like a chaperone. I couldn't boogie real slow with the blue lights way down low. They did the boogie real slow with the blue lights way down low. They did the boogie real slow with the blue lights way down low.
Listen to the music of Louis Jordan and his Timpani 5. Various recordings from 1939 through to the early 1970s. Louis Jordan, seminal figure, saxophone player and vocalist who had a profound influence on rhythm and blues and rock and roll. To follow, vk3sl Test Missions.
You gotta be losing your mind.
stand for the way you're treating me. Yes, baby, I ain't gonna stand for the way you're treating me. If you don't straighten up, baby, I'm going back to my old used to be. I should have known better than to believe the things you said. Yes, baby, I should have known better than to believe the things you said. You got a weak mind, mama, so you're bound to lose your head. Yes, some of you women don't know when you're doing well. Yes, some of you simple women don't know when you're doing well. You come home one of these mornings, won't be nothing left but the front door bell. Baby, I've been downhearted ever since the day we met. Baby, I've been downhearted ever since the day we met. Our love is nothing but the blues. Baby, how blue can you get? My love burns like a fire. Your love burns like a cigarette. My love burns like a fire. Your love burns like a cigarette. I've seen you put it down and crush it. Baby, how blue can you get? You evil when I'm with you, and you're jealous when we're apart. Yes, you're evil when I'm with you, and you're jealous when we're apart. How blue can you get? The answer's right here in my heart. I gave you a brand new Ford. You said I want a Cadillac. I bought you a $10 dinner. You said thanks for the snack. I let you live in my penthouse. You said it was just a shack. I gave you 7 children. Now you want to give them back. Baby, I've been downhearted ever since the day we met. Our love is nothing but the blues. Baby, how blue can you get? Yeah, don't never trust a woman until she's dead and deep. Yeah,
trust a woman until she's dead and deep. One day she'll say she loves you. Woo, hey, next day she'll throw you in the street. She'll smother you with kisses when her birthday comes around. But soon as she gets a present, she'll out-talk you all over town. So don't never trust a woman until she's dead and deep. One day she'll say she loves you. Next day she'll throw you in the street. She'll call you daddy, darling, till she gets the upper hand. Then you'll feel like marrying. She'll say, not you, old man. So don't never trust a woman until she's dead and deep. One day she'll say she loves you. Next day she'll throw you in the street. She'll beg for clothes and diamonds until you all in hock. Then you'll come home early one morning and your key won't fit that lock. Don't never trust a woman until she's dead and deep. One day she'll say she loves you. Ooh, hey, next day she'll throw you in the street. She'll call you every morning, noon and night. She'll call you in between times to see if you're doing all right. She'll ask to borrow 5, and then she'll beg you to give her 10. And daddy, that 5 and 10 you ain't gonna never see again. So don't never trust a woman until she's dead and deep. One day she says she loves you. Next day she'll throw you in the street. Down the road came a junko partner. Boy, he was loaded with misery. He was knocked out and loaded, and he wobbled all over the street. Had to do 6 months. You mean? Yeah, it wasn't easy. He was no sinner, and he done no crime. He just shot up a Cajun hat band. He was in it at the very time. Well, when I had plenty money, it wasn't funny. I could get honey. I had friends all over town. Now I ain't got no money and I ain't got no honey, and my best friend done put me down. Well, I done pawned my watch and pistol. I'm gonna pawn my key and chain. I would have pawned my Tinkerbell. She was mellow as a shallow, but the poor gal wouldn't sign her name. Give me water, 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 water when I'm thirsty. Agua, agua, agua. Water's a mighty good drink when you're dry. Give me kindness when I'm sickly. I want to go to heaven when I die. Well, if I had $1 million, just $1 million to call my own, I'd buy me a land-geared tractor. I'd raise my own tobacco on my tobacco farm. Junko, Junko,
I once lived the life of a millionaire, spending my money, I didn't care. Always taking my friends out for a good time, buying champagne, gin and wine. But just as soon as my dough got low, I couldn't find a friend, no place I go. If I ever get my hands on $1 again, I'm gonna squeeze it and squeeze it till the eagle grins. Nobody wants you when you're down and out. In your pocket, not one penny, and your friends, you haven't any. And soon as you get on your feet again, everybody is your long-lost friend. It's mighty strange without a doubt, but nobody wants you when you're down and out. You know, folks, I once had a mansion sitting way up on the side of a hill. I'd give champagne and caviar parties just for the fun and to get a thrill. But the wrong folks made it in my town, they finally got in. And now I can't muscle up enough money to buy a shot of gin. But you know, if I ever get my hands on $1 again, I'm gonna squeeze it and squeeze it and squeeze it till the eagle grins. It's mighty strange without a doubt, but nobody wants you, nobody needs you, nobody wants you when you're down and out. I like cake and no mistake, but baby, if you insist, I'll cut out cake just for your sake. Baby, come on, knock me a kiss. I like pie, I hope to die. Just get a load of this. When you get high, doggone the pie. Baby, come on, knock me a kiss. When you press your sweet little lips to mine, then I understood. They taste like candy, brandy and wine, peaches, bananas and everything fine. I love jam and no flim flam. Scratch that off my list. This ain't no jam, the jam can scram. Baby, come on, knock me a kiss. Baby, when you press your sweet little lips to mine, 'twas then I understood, oh babe, that tastes like candy, brandy brandy and wine, peaches, bananas, and everything fine. I love jam and no flim flam. Scratch that off my list. This ain't no jam, the jam can scram. Baby, come on, knock me a kiss. Knock me a kiss.
I'd like to sing the blues. I've been singing the blues since even before that. Yeah. And this is a blues tune about my wife. I know a man shouldn't talk about his wife out in public because it's bad. It makes people think that you're putting your business in the street, and that's bad. It's bad. It's bad. But I got my wife. There's a town in Arkansas that was put up. It's named after my wife's head, Little Rock. She's just a hard-headed woman. I'm gonna tell you about it. You know, I'm gonna talk to her. When I come home in the evening, you better have my dinner hot. I want to smell that old pot roast while it's stewing in the pot. Have my bubble bath awaiting and my change of clothes laid out. And when I ask you to light my cigarette, give me a smile and don't you pout. Hard head. You heard just what I said. If you don't straighten up, woman, there's gonna be some changes made. Oh yeah. If you want to spend my money and I want to watch TV, you better smile and call me honey and stay right on home with me. If I feel like kissing, baby, you better feel like kissing too. 'Cause if you freeze up on me, mama, I'll have to freeze on you. Hard head. You heard just what I said. If you don't straighten up, woman, there's gonna be some changes made. Oh yeah. The preacher made us partners, and partners we will be. If you don't want to be partners, that's all right with me. If you walk out on me, woman, I'll stand right here and grin. 'Cause if you walk out on me, baby, I know a chick who walk right in. Hard head. What I said. If you don't straighten up, woman, there's gonna be some changes made.
Hypocrites who stay up all night, Saturday night, partying, drinking and gambling and carrying on and get home just in time for the meeting. You see them every Sunday morning, see them creep through the door. You see him stepping high and easy across the squeaks in the floor. Yeah, when the preacher starts praying, you hear them all saying, amen. They say you want to go to heaven. Hear old Gabriel blow. They want to hear the angels. They're not ready to go. And while the preacher is praying, I still hear them say, amen. He says, now stay, sisters and brothers, you must love each other, amen. And you must live by the Bible and cast away all of your sins. And when he's taking a collection, there is no speculation. You see him digging in their pockets, there is no hesitation. And when he kneels down again, you can hear them all say, amen. He says, now sisters and brothers, you must love each other, amen. And you must live by the Bible and cast away all of your sins. And when he's taking up collection, there is no speculation. You see him digging in the pockets, there is no hesitation. And when he kneels down again, you can hear them all say, amen. Get together, folks. We're going down the same road. We got to walk this road. We got to talk this walk. We got to keep everything moving easy. When we walk across the street and the floor, you must keep on running on. You might
Reach on yonder's wall, hand me down my walking shoes. Reach on yonder's wall, hand me down my walking shoes. My woman took all my money, and I got the walking blues. Yeah, feeling for my pillow where my baby used to lay. I'm feeling for my pillow where my baby used to lay. Gonna catch the first thing smoking. I should have been there yesterday.
vk3sl. You've been listening to the music of Louis Jordan. Recordings from 1939 through to 1973. We look forward to your company in about 2 weeks. Not this week. Yes, nearly 3 weeks' time. Back on board Friday nights, Saturday nights and Sunday nights, and of course our late night session on Fridays after the school holidays. This is VK3SL saying cheerio.